now.
True.
So it's going to be all up to style. RA have even answered Zeri with different picks coming out in the bottom lane. Typically, they have gone to that Jinx, though. But no, seems like we're going to get more of an all-in style, more aggression coming out from the RA bot lane, who I feel like in terms of their laning phase are a bit more on the reserve side. So it'll be pretty cool to see iBoy and Yuyanjia get a chance to step up.
What do you partner it with? Support straight away or get an early jungle here for Leyan?
Oh, I think you definitely go towards the early jungle. They're already highlighting that now. You can save your pick, maybe wait to see if JDG goes for something in this first rotation.
Yep.
Obviously, when Zeri's on the Rift, we have been seeing like different supports come out. Things like the Alistar do incredibly well on tour, and you can partner that up with the Tristana quite nicely. But now for JDG, you can just look to match jungle here. And then I feel like typically you'd see jungle support come out in this rotation, but knowing that it is the battle of the top laners and you do have that champion pool up in top side, I think both these guys, very heavy Jayce players is split. I'm kind of curious to see if JDG will look to prioritize that over getting Kanavi on something like the Leyan or Viego, which has been his most played this split.
I was going to say Viego sits nicely, right? Like some of Kanavi's best games, I feel like have been on this pick. 75% win rate after 8 games. He's got almost a 10 KDA with it, so we return once again. We get the standard session from JDG, which is support AD and jungle, but for RA, straight towards Strive in a mid lane here, a different route, Lyric.
Yeah, putting Strive on something that has a lot of agency. We haven't seen Strive play a lot of these sorts of picks. Ryze has been his go-to, and beyond that, I mean, ignoring the quirky Victor, right? He's played Orianna, and everything else he's only played once. So, RA trying to diversify their playstyle a little bit in terms of how they're coming in with this one. Yagao on the opposite side. I wonder if they're going to ban out something like the Zoe here, because we've seen Yagao obviously go back to that pick that has really defined his career when he is playing against more, I'd say, early game oriented matchups.
True. I mean, one of his best, right? The LeBlanc as well makes sense as a ban. That's been alongside it. So we've already got one taken away. Things like the Ryze can't be optioned into it either. JDG themselves banned it. Vex, a good point there. So you can only take one away. Let's see, a couple of seconds. Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Okay, Malphite. All right. Is that like, hey, we're picking Jayce?
Yeah, that's how I'm seeing it. I'm seeing RA saying, hey, we're at least going to force you to ban this one away. For JDG, if they did go towards the Jayce, he does have other picks available, like the Gragas is something we've seen quite heavily, but it seems like they are more concerned about Cube going towards that Tryndamere. And now for RA, you would expect this is where they come out with a support pick, going up against Alistar Zeri. I mean, typically you really would want that Alistar or Nautilus to come through. Obviously, things like the Leona are still open if you do want to look for some lockdown, but against Zeri's mobility can be quite hard without any type of point-and-click CZ.
That's very true. That's why a lot of time we've seen a lot of stimulus built into that support lane. But further to the matchups we're about to see, JDG, that top lane, we're mentioning things like the Kennen, the Jayce as well, has been taken away. 369 has kind of been the silent player historically in the LPL.
Yeah, and he's going to go for a tank here. We already hit on the Gragas being able to play into it. The Sion would work fine as well. But getting some sort of generic tank in the top side, enable 369 to play by himself. And now the mid lane pick. We've already kind of hit on some of the options. Obviously, Zoe, something that is there. He could go towards the Vex, which I think fits the comp a lot more holistically in terms of the all-in play style that is able to come out for the side of JDG.
Dive, right? Because if you build with an Akali, then I'm going to immediately say things like dive. As well, Lyric, you know, we've already got some decent scaling with the front line, and now a Veigar here against Strive's Ahri.
And I'm very interested to see how this one goes, considering that RA are playing with a lot of range so far. Obviously, Jayce should really never be in threat of getting caged. Even Tristana can get to a point, even just seeing your itemization, right, things like rapid fire cannon, where you don't have to worry about that too much. And now for RA, I mean, they are playing this more kite back composition, going to go towards the Lulu, so have a big enchanter to buff up your Tristana, frontline in the Volibear, and then I think look to play sides a little bit later on, considering you have the Ahri and the Jayce turn into a bit of a pick comp, and then once your Tristana gets big and strong with the enchanter, you can start looking to transition into some team fights.
But I'm kind of more curious about the laning phase itself. RA have built a strong 2v2. We know how Strive prioritizing the Ahri means he's looking for a good time there. The range and topside, Lyric, for Rare Adam, this is a comp that wants to get rolling, right?
Oh, 100%. I think especially up against what JDG have drafted, because we just said, I'm like, okay, you have like this Enchanter support, so, typically later on you're going to be wanting to look to team fight with your hyper carry, but JDG's team fight is absolutely stacked, having the Sion up in top side, having the Veigar cage, which just creates so much room, the Viego reset. So I think for RA, a lot of it is going to come out with the fact that they have drafted really strong lanes just across all 3 lanes. They have a very heavy early game ganking jungler. So for RA, I feel like the name of the game is Snowball, or later on it will get very hard.
I mean, I want to see RA bring in the blood then. iBoy and Yuyanjia, you put up a really interesting point that these guys aren't the lads who would come out ahead in a 2v2, who would really optimize themselves for an aggressive 2v2. This puts them in a very different position. And when we're going up against JDG, when Hope and Missing have been rising every single game of this split, have been getting better and better, I'm curious to see how it goes, because I feel like Hope and Missing are slowly becoming a solid mid to almost upper echelon 2v2 at the moment, Lyric, at least as an AD carry and support individually.
Yeah, and I feel like the bot lane they drafted for themselves fits their style really well, because they're also not extremely aggressive in that 2v2. I feel like we have seen them get more comfortable as the split's gone on. We'll see what they can do up against iBoy and Yuyanjia. iBoy wants to go for the aggression.
Oh, yeah.
This kind of Yuyanjia, who is the one who seems to prefer sitting back, playing more for later on in the game, and getting him out on Enchanter just feels like it fits, right? We know Yuyanjia as the Yumi guy from 2020.
Oh, yeah. The Yumi guy sitting with Jackie Love has recently been the Rakan guy as well. So we get a Lulu this time around with iBoy, and we'll watch a little bit closer at how the 2v2 plays out. As we run you into Summoner's Rift, a quick reminder, Rare Atom are on 8 wins, but not secured in playoffs. Good little trade here against Hope, actually, with Halo Blades getting almost a full proc. Hope almost died under half HP, and it's 1 minute into the game. So this is going to be a slow back, if any.
Ooh, and I was kind of wondering if iBoy would want to go poke his head in and maybe see if he was there and try and cancel it. But they aren't going to go for it in the end. Looks like Hope will just be a little bit behind the minion wave, so shouldn't really lose out too much in terms of any CS. And we've kind of already touched on it, right? For RA, we expect it to be very heavily indexed to this early game. It looks like Leyan will be starting off towards the bottom side, try and enable that Cube has, say, first few levels. Jayce typically wanting to get those first 3 waves in, then, you can try and secure the bounce back or just look to keep the punishment up depending on how Leyan pats. For Kanavi, I'm much more interested in seeing what he does, because he shouldn't really have too many options in terms of lanes to play around early. Once 369 hits level 6, once you get the cage, they're there, but look at the minimap.
Okay.
Kanavi being a little bit cheeky.
I mean, looking for some early priority around this enemy jungle. Leyan not here yet. The lens picked up, and Kanavi just going to be starting the red buff. And when we're talking about him not having many options, I guess the jungle wasn't included.
And, I mean, just him banking on the fact that Leyan wouldn't be here going for that full clear, because both of his soul laners would very easily be able to follow up on this one faster than JDG's would. So, just overall, really nice read of what Leyan was going to do. You get the camp. You're going to get out of here. I wonder if he's going to look top first. Doesn't look like the wave should be in a position for it. But no, Cube just committed.
He all in. 369 with a low health bar, but it might not matter. Cube is level 2 versus the 2 and top and jungle. Damage coming down. The stun there. And Kanavi with a huge brain to secure first blood.
Great read coming out from Kanavi. Not only steals away drone camp, finds the gank. Yagao!
Return here, though. The charm, the sky splitter there got enough damage. Leyan a bit upset by top side, and he gets revenge.
I'm just really happy that he was able to find the gank in mid. I feel like we come out pretty much every day saying, hey, this team is a really strong mid-jungle combination. They have the CC set up there. They have the kill pressure. And we rarely see it executed upon.
Are you okay, Lyric? First question.
I'm not okay for the side of... Actually, both sides. Both sides already giving early kills, and Leyan gonna answer with the red buff. So you know what? I am okay.
Oh, good.
I'm happy that both junglers are showing off right now.
Good, because both junglers got the kill as well. So we've got enhanced gold here as Kanavi misses away from the miss, unfortunately. Red buff stolen away, and that's a big hit considering that Leyan was dragging a little bit, trying to find a gank. He gets a gank, he gets a red buff, he gets bottom side scuttle too. And now he's back in charge.
But I want you to look at the minimap now, right? Because we're obviously span over top, seeing Cube has the pile here. Of course, Ahri having that push in mid, and then RA's bot lane winning. And it feels like this is what's going to enable RA's game plan of trying to find these early ganks, trying to set up invades yourself. You should be the team on the front foot, going into Kanavi's jungle, getting some vision down, and looking for the skirmishes.
Oh, he's hiding in the brush. No visions there for now. Good headbutt, pulverize. A small rocket jump from iBoy. but won't burn the flash. Kanavi having his own, not choosing to tear it out. Yuyanjia by his side makes it safe. So we get the shove here, but Leyan still clearing away the camps, and Kanavi still going to be behind CS, while RA's lanes are doing pretty well for themselves.
Oh, and it looks like they're posturing for a dive up in topside. 369 chunked out really heavily after all that trading.
Drive still not level 6, but he has the flash available. Leyan's moving in, and with every summoner there at advantage, 369 burning the shield, but it can't kill the minions. A nice charm. Cube picks up the kill credit. On the bottom lane, JDG turn it around into Yuyanjia. Good damage from Hope and missing. Now to 1v2 though, iBoy rocket jumps in. Flash away from missing iBoy going into melee range. Wants a reset and he gets it, but now running away from Hope. The flash gets in midair. Hope won't let him leave alive, and JDG keep it on going.
And we were wrong about both these bot lanes. Both of them coming in today and wanting to find the action.
Yeah.
JDG, I mean, just really nice start from them, finding this 2v2. Just playing with vision in the brush. Yuyanjia walks up, the combo's there. Missing gets to layer the stun. And then iBoy wanting to turn it around with how low Missing is, hoping he can get the kill, just be able to get the reset rocket jump out. Hope, though, with a really nice flash to make sure that that doesn't go through. And Hope now sitting 2-0 on the Zeri.
And a 10 CS lead as well. Is able to push up the wave, and it feels like iBoy missed a little bit of it. So as we come back to live, just note that RA still with a gold lead, but we have 2 kills as mentioned onto Hope. And one still there onto Kanavi, who's just picked up a Sheen. So it feels like right now, Lyric, the gold lead is just coming from the lane advantages through mid, through top, even jungle that we kind of expected to see.
And RA are doing exactly what we hit on for them, right? You should be the team walking into the enemy jungle, getting vision down, trying to track Kanavi from all the pryos you have. Again, even potentially looking for some skirmishes. So they've done well so far. If it wasn't for the hiccup in the bot lane, they could have really started to just truck home with the momentum that they've had from these early ganks. But we're starting to get to a point where I think JDG will be happier to fight. 369 having that level 6 would enable Kanavi to gank. Their bot lane as well, Alistar already being post 3 means you have the all-in potential, but talking about their bot lane, looks like it might be punished.
They're going to play a bit defensively though. Leyan without the Sky Splitter, excuse me, the Storm Breaker, Storm Rift, Storm. Anyway, it's the ulti, which somehow is eluding me right now. JDG with a response though. And Leyan coming through an early smite, gives it over to Kanavi. And it just means that RA back away for now, so a good little response play.
Yeah, and I think RA are still the ones to come out ahead, right? Because they were able to deny Hope and missing some CS. They got more turret plating onto iBoy. So overall, really nice movement from Strive. Strive, of course, is a player we've highlighted continuously this split. Honestly, picking a rookie of the split will be very hard. I think both Wayward and Strive have just been so massive for their respective teams. I feel like any role and any award feels very hard to give. I remember the last hit we had to give out like MVP. Nothing's gonna happen instead.
No, it's not. It's a Veigar. He's, doesn't have Flash Bear's cleanse this time around with the Unsealed Spellbook. So as Kanavi comes around, this will be a different story. Stormbringer was the name I was looking for, but Leyan poked out immediately. Look at that damage from Yagao already. And as he backs away, I mean, JDG have just opened themselves up to get Scuttle in front of the Rift Herald. And look, it feels like both these teams putting in a lot of leg room to make sure that Rift Herald's going to be theirs.
Yeah, and I mean, RA still doing a nice job of being able to control mid, but I feel like the thing is for Rift Herald, the fact that RA's bot lane is the one that just keeps up that prio means that they'll be able to move first if they want to look for any action. They will have to be careful, though, of, walking with an Enchantress support through River can be quite rough if you open up an opportunity for Missing to go in.
Trying to get that interrupt there on the rocket jump for iBoy, the small second window not achieved. And I like how aggressive they're being. You and I were talking a lot about top lane as maybe it's going to come into fruition. Hang on a little tick. Leyan is creeping his way up, going on the bear hunt. Lyric, what I was going to say. Top was our story. It was our little page turner. But it's been about bot, dude. Hope Missing versus iBoy and Yuyanjia continues to be a bit of a barn burner.
And that's what happens when you have this kind of differentiation of bot lanes, right? Because we don't get enchanters all too much here in the LPL,
right.
But presenting those opportunities to, again, them whittle them down, play on a knife's edge, get the turret plating, opens up for Hope and Missing to try to look for those all-ins. As we come back to top side, JDG not going to find
mid-air though, on top of Cube. There's the backbreaker into the back line. Kanavi getting a reset here. Now with the Heartbreaker itself already using, going to Leyan, resets, but the charm midway. Strive brings it back. Spirit Rush needs one more. The flash available. He gets over the Rage Cage, and 369 getting away himself. He might have just done it. The decimating strike not in range, but it doesn't need to be. Strive running for his life. And Yagao still with the flash as well. Wants another Baleful there. Goes into melee range. The ulti, the nuke. Press R to win. And it's a beautiful sight here as what the heck? It's the Portal combat. Let's go for another round. Yuyanjia gonna drop the Ignite on top of Missing. But Missing can feel it, knowing Hope's nearby. And we have 11 kills in 9.5 minutes. This is the right way to start game 1 of this series.
And JDG specifically have been one of our most aggressive teams in the split. Last time I looked, they leaded in kills at 15. So JDG staying true to the identity we've seen so far this split. We're getting a replay of, I guess something happened bot lane while the skirmish topside happened. We see iBoy jumping in, and I love that. Using the wild growth as an aggressive option.
Missing killed him.
Is able, yeah, Missing kills him. Also able to get the reset from, getting off the charges of his E, and just sets up for the kill to come in 2v2. Man, that was so great. iBoy Wing in. Instantly the wild growth comes out. A ton of damage, the knock up. Everything was there. And this is not the bot lane combination that should be looking for all heads, right? Lulu, Tristana up against Alistar Zeri. You'd expect it to be the other way around, but iBoy found an opportunity to punish, and he did it.
Apparently, yeah. It is the 2v2, in fact, that should be fighting it, because iBoy has been aggressive as all hell. There was that quick couple of kills that went over to Hope, but now it's been returned. Dragon goes over to RA as well, and when we said this is the team that has to find an early game lead, really nice to see the commitment as Herald is on the wrong side of the wall, but at the very least, it opens up for first turret blood, surely to go to RA.
Yeah, and look at where Kanavi's on the map. He isn't top, so we can try and respond and dive cube. He's obviously not able to answer here on this play, so at the end of the day, RA, they got a dragon, they get a turret, and it's completely unanswered. JDG not able to do anything. Kanavi probably just going to go back, do his topside camps, maybe look for a window to punish Cube since he doesn't have flash, but not too much available to them with the timing that RA went with.
So what kind of lead to RA need? Because when you talked about how the early game has to start off, we have some pretty definitive lanes. Like, Strive is ahead by almost 20 CS despite getting killed in I guess, a solo fashion from Yagao at the end. We've got 2 kills now down onto iBoy, so he's well and truly away, picking up the Kraken Slayer and helping get first turret blood. We actually have 3 mythics on RA too, so further to that point, Lyric, it feels like we got the damage that RA were looking for in this draft.
Yeah, 369 doesn't have flash.
I want you to answer that question for me as soon as we see this play out. He's going to get away and RA disappears, so tell me a little bit more.
So I feel like RA actually need like a decently sizable advantage to go up against JDG in the later stages. Again, they have guaranteed engage coming out from the Sion and the Alistar. They have a front line. They have it all.
Okay, they're actually going to get 2-man knock-up. Ulti from Leyan is unstoppable. Stormbringer Sky Splitter in a choke, but look at Kanavi. He's run on in with the wild growth from Yuyanjia. Makes it so iBoy can stick around. This guy's been rocket jumping into faces, but he doesn't have flash anymore. But JDG forcing out quite a lot, bringing this choo-choo train in from 369.
And I feel like we just saw a key thing of what JDG are going to want to look to do throughout the game is go for these engages, even when like no neutral objectives up, force out the flash on the enemy side, so then when you have your next ulti up, it is a guaranteed engage. iBoy won't be able to escape like he had in that scenario, and you can't get kited out. Because if JDG do, let's say, engage at opportune times and full commit, and iBoy is able to reposition, he's able to survive with the help of Yuyanjia and his summoners, and that is a way for RA to be able to take fights.
Well, we're going to find out what he can do here in a 2 versus 3, even 2 versus 4 as Yagao's moving up. There's the Electro Surge from Hope, and Unbreakable Heartbreaker. Kanavi with a reset maker goes in for the reset, but he dies on the way from the turret. Yagao's joined in. Yuyanjia doesn't want to stick to find out what happens if he stays. For JDG, again, Kanavi leading the kill score.
Still being able, 1 kill going over both sides. I believe both of them had bounties as well, so both teams picking up a nice little chunk of gold, but the action doesn't stop. Leyan coming for a flank.
Doesn't have ulti here from 369. He goes up instead, wants to play the do-si-do, the flash down. Nice and smart, but 369 still down a summoner with RA's response play.
There is no one better at do-si-doing than 369, who did go with the turbo chem tank, which always surprises me. I always feel like it's something you don't really need on Sion, and could always go towards something like my God, it's not. Yeah, I was gonna say it's not called an Iceborne Gauntlet anymore.
It's
Frostfire
yeah.
Gauntlet. There we go.
Okay.
But did go for it, so we'll be able to close that distance if RA are able to kite out the initial engage. At least gives you other follow-up options available. As we see the dive here, nice by iBoy to keep missing away from being able to get that hard CC down. And then Kanavi's able to finish off the kill, but picking up the soul in turret aggro range. 2 turret shots go over, and he does go down.
I like as well that, you know, speaking of Kanavi, outside of that play, we have a Trinity Force on Viego. It's been, you know, a bit of a mismatch, a mix and match, a bit of a bundle, let's say that, from Viego's. But, you know, Trinity Force as well has recently been the item to choose for a lot of bruises in competitive play.
Yeah, it's something we've seen, you know, come a little bit more to fruition, especially as other items have gotten nerfed.
Yep.
Obviously, typically the other option on him would be the Divine Sunder, but going to get a lot of value just out from things like the more movement speed, the Mythic passive coming in. You're getting more AD from that. So we're going to see how Kanavi uses all these stats, as RA should be the team looking to solidify this Rift Herald with all the pressure they've been able to keep. But look at JDG. They move Kanavi mid.
Yep.
They help Yagao get prio, and now they're the team with numbers advantage on the objective.
But RA still look very aggressive, and Strive has an angle at level 11 that he could flank from. Kanavi in the pixel brush by himself. There's no ward coverage there. Leyan walking in, but the cage hits him. Everfrost down as well. They send everything at him, but he survived. Now for iBoy in the middle with the wild growth. It won't save him now. I didn't catch that on the back end, Lyric, but RA just got sandwiched from 2 angles.
Yeah, JDG knowing what their composition's strong at. They didn't have to commit 369.
I mean, he just wants to go in again. Look at this absolute fridge trying to dictate the map.
Why is 369 a fridge?
Because fridge is, if you punch a fridge, what does it do?
It does absolutely nothing.
That's
I guess
right.
It hurts you.
That's right. That's right. So
I don't know if that's the purpose of a fridge, though. I don't know if the purpose of a fridge
it stores
is for people
things.
to punch it and for it to harm you.
It stores things. It stores hope, potential. 369 literally storing items at this point. Hey, Leyan's going to back away. But there's nothing more solid than a fridge.
That is true. And
probably not.
Speaking of things, you know, with fridges, because we see 369 top. Surprisingly, Cube was pushing out bot, and then once he saw Hope answer the wave, TP to top side, hoping to get that turret, but that will be a teleport down for what feels like really nothing. A turret that they could have easily guaranteed anyway with Cube, you know, just going for the reset and then playing towards that top side with the pressure he's able to guarantee. Oh!
Lens away. Everfrost was a little bit slow, but remember, Yagao was just throwing it out in case. For iBoy, that cleanse being down, Lyric, I know you're mid-conversation, but as a play-by-play, I get the power to change where we go in direction. I want to point out there's so much CC that iBoy's a Tristana might have wild growth, but if he gets locked down by either Veigar, by Kanavi's W, 369 decimating smash, we have Hope with slow on W, missing headbutt pulverize. Like, there are so many tools to stop a Tristana.
Yeah, and that's why we kind of hit on more in draft, right? That RA having the option to snowball early, then commit to playing sides. It's what they've done. They've just committed to playing sides knowing that they can't match JDG in a 4v4 or a 5v5. But still, I mean, we've hit on this for years, right? In terms of things like Soul and how strong Dragons have made it very hard to play unless you can get the tempo. Sure. Just start getting so far ahead, you can get the enemy jungle, find these picks. Rotate first, cause numbers advantage. And already haven't been able to do that. They are ahead, you know, about a solid 2,000.
But only just, right? iBoy sitting in the brush by himself. Leyan's over the wall now that he's spotted out. Looks like JDG back away. But you're right. I mean, RA's tempo has only been to the tune of 2,000 gold. Right now it's sitting under. And as you said, that's not enough. We need to see this bridge into dominance, into side lanes, right? We need to see Strive pop off. I know I'm making it very bland as to how you put it, but at the very least, RA need to speed this ahead.
Yeah, and JDG now actually going to be the ones trucking forward with this Rift Herald. Even 369 kind of waiting in the wings off to the side, has the ult available. If members of RA maybe try to look for a counter engage, but RA just committing to playing sides. They're keeping Strive down on that bot side, so it will guarantee a turret for the side of JDG.
Yeah, it looks pretty weak as well on the minimap. JDG just opening up the mid lane for the time being. That's going to be the trade. Strive able to push in one minion wave, but not the other, and Yagao's moving down. So gold continues to be at a reachable point. And with 2 dragons on JDG as well, I think it's worth mentioning, Lyric, that when these comps want to be soaring ahead, getting these early couple of objectives, knowing that you don't have to fight at their tune, at the enemy's tune, is always a big deal.
Yeah, it's extremely important, but speaking of important, it's nice to see RA, you know, start to group up, start to put a bit of a siege down, because, I mean, the range that we were talking about as well, the Jayce Tristana being able to come in, the sad part is you just open yourself up to getting engaged on so easily. Both teams are playing around such important timers. For JDG, the question will always be, when are you going to drop waves on sides to commit to looking for an engage on mid to just open up the game in a massive way? And for RA, it's when are you going to be able to find windows to be able to look for these picks on sides? JDG haven't really given too many windows since we've gotten post 15 minutes.
And it's been 369 that they're focused on. And for 369, like, his flash goes down, he picks up a ghost. He's an unsealed spellbook Sion. And he's getting to this point where he's not only a top mount fridge, but that comes with a freezer as well. So pretty good stuff here. Level 12, he's just picked up a turret on the top side. And JDG still only 1,000 gold behind. 20 minutes into the game, Lyric. Baron's now just spawned, but I'm more looking towards this next Dragon coming up in a minute 15. See what RA choose. Even their pick potential right now are struggling to find that tank.
Yeah, for the teams, I expect them to approach it differently. For RA, you're just going to have to play through the pressure Ahri's been able to generate in bot lane, probably try and force your way in through there. It's where, for JDG, they can probably guarantee themselves mid-prio just by stacking up mid with their tanks, and then members like iBoy won't be able to walk forward to clear that wave. You'll really be depending on Cube and his accelerated shock blasts.
Lyric, I want you to tell me what you had for breakfast this morning, and if it's going to be as good as this next fight. Completely irrelevant. Just how my brain's going right now.
So, I didn't have breakfast this morning because I was not awake this morning, as, you know, LPL schedule. But by default, then, this fight will be better than my breakfast that was non-existent. Because this fight will happen.
Okay. Well, I'm going to talk to you about that, because problem is you need breakfast to start in the morning. 15 seconds, by the way, till Dragon, folks. And everything's kind of just been a bit of a tussle for vision control right now. We're going back and forth, the push and pull. JDG are not committing to Dragon. RAR, we're A-ramming a bit. Damage coming through. Hello, Sion. He hasn't ulted yet, but he has... No, he hasn't even used a chem tank. He just ran at them. I mean, look at this. Here we go. Choo-choo. iBoy running away. Good little rocket jump away, but Cube knocked on in. Now the front to back commences. Hope's already crashed it down, and Kanavi's into the background. He gets a reset. He gets another and another. JDG, it all gets delivered to them. That's what I call 30% off Uber Eats.
And JDG, like we said, have not dropped a single game since we have swapped over to 12.4. They're still coming in, still looking strong, and they're taking RA down with that ace.
That was easy, and I think 369 is probably laughing at this point. Keeping everyone at bay. This guy taking no damage, and for JDG now on sole point. A Baron in front of them. Teleport being used by 369. As we go to the replay, look at this, Lyric. I mean, they are obsessed with this guy.
Yeah, missing finds the opportune flank, which is even crazier considering that they have the vision there to be able to spot him out. I wonder if maybe a Hex Flash came out. And then Kanavi getting in between all members once he did get the first reset off of the Jayce, and then hope to finish it out to be able to guarantee them that ace. But I feel like the most interesting part of this fight was actually the setup going into it, because we were talking about it's about JDG dropping waves and finding, you know, opportunities to group mid and just force these fights. But RA were the ones who actually committed to losing minions on sides to group mid first, and it looked like their plan was, okay, doesn't matter if we lose minions on side, we get on the objective first, we try to poke them out so they aren't able to enter the space. But you see, with the Sion and with an Alistar, it is just so easy to ignore that poke and guarantee the engage that you're looking for.
Because look at the damage. Like, the damage sources going into 369 Lyric. We have lethality. We have a 2-item Ahri. Like, we have a lot of burst. But we don't have the consistent DPS that maybe someone like the Zeri could put out. Maybe even like the Veins, the Aphelioses, right? Like, it looks pretty hard to be able to make threats on 369.
Oh, yeah, and even having, right, the consistent DPS coming out from your Tristana, because iBoy will definitely be able to shred any tank he hits with the help of Yuyanjia right beside him as well. But I mean, without the other members really able to get meaningful damage off, it does feel quite hard, especially while JDG also have, they have good DPS. They have bursts coming out from their mid laner. Kanavi is absolutely massive right now.
Yep.
So JDG doing a nice job of just playing out through 2 lanes right now, push in mid, start hovering over towards spot to guarantee that turret. They can try and sync up these waves hitting.
I mean, Hope is doing so much work. Look at this 3-item Zeri, 6, 1, and 3. As well, Kanavi, a bit of a threat himself, and as they walk up to the turret, 369 absorbs the wave. Lyric, we were talking about the top side matchup, and I love that it's been Tank versus, what would you call, AD Assassin? Like, from Cube. And 369 has been the better player here in this matchup, has played the better role. And for JDG, their top laner, again, the anchor of the team, continues to walk up. They just have to give mid lane turret. Missing's going over. iBoy he wants red buff, but the base is burning.
I don't know. I mean,
okay.
for RA. Oh, he's going for it. No, he's not.
Okay.
He's not going for it. I was gonna say, I mean, you're already in such a rough position, right? Even if iBoy's there, JDG take that inhibitor. Yeah. So, getting a bit more firepower.
I mean, Tristana flank would have been a lot of fun, but doesn't happen. Yagao with the cage. I mean, iBoy, he's got red buff, so let's see what that changes. On to missing. I would do it. What have you got to lose at this point? RA, their base is broken. They're 6,000 gold down. Lyric in a series that matters so much for them. It's just all turned around so fast.
Yeah, for a series that, if RA win, they just guarantee themselves playoffs right here and now. RA should be in a good position for playoffs pretty much regardless, even if they do lose this and lose to EDG. It would be pretty hard for them to be kicked out of playoffs by other teams. But still, you don't want to leave your fate in the hands of others. Sadly, though, JDG took their fate in their own hands with this one. Had good answers in draft. Didn't matter that they had lanes that were losing out early.
Yep.
They found the aggression they needed to, especially in that 2v2. And they've just been able to match RA the whole time. And then finally, once the 5v5s came through, that's when JDG really started to find this massive lead.
And I mean, we've had quiet achievements like Yagao in those 5v5s, like the zone control from Veigar with 3 items, who's nearly unkillable because he has Zonyas, he has Banshee's Veil, is quite big as well. And as JDG group up to the top side, if you're an RA fan right now, you are hoping, Lyric, that we get iBoy with resets. He gets access, the damage comes through, but it looks so difficult with missing and 369 always in the face. Front line of RA.
Yeah, for RA, what you're hoping for right now is, when members like Missing and 369 are hovering off to the side, threatening a flank, I guess it'd be Strive just hitting some kind of lucky charm onto Hope. And then, hoping you have enough bursts to take him out, then you have the numbers and you can try and take the fight from there. But look at how JDG are playing the map. They have the supers pushing out in bot. They have Kanavi escorting the wave in mid. He's going to be able to go pick up Dragon, guarantee them soul. And JDG can just keep up the pressure in this top side.
I mean, as the minions come in, look at this. They're committing 3 people to it. So, yeah, they'll hover around. Yuyanjia left behind, and iBoy as well. 369 knows, and Yuyanjia as he flashes away. A bit of a mistake from RA. Once again, JDG capitalized, and it's only 1 inhibitor turret to go.
Yeah, and I mean, now they're going to get soul, right? We see Kanavi doing that one right now, so they'll be able to get that, have the massive shield coming through. And when you highlighted the burst coming through, I mean, ooh.
Lyric, they went in. He tried to go in to get Hope, and now Strive has none. RA going to get stunned up. iBoy flashing away from the cage, but Hope matches the buster shot to get him out, but 369 is at the helm, ready to run into Helm's Deep once again. JDG, this game happened so fast. Once they took control, they never let it go. RA may be looking for playoffs, but JDG are looking for top 4.
Yeah, JDG just coming out so strong as they're looking for more kills. Pad the KDA, have the great stats for us to put on our graphics. And I'm just big shout out going over to Kanavi and the bot lane, both Hope and Missing, finding those opportunities, getting the all-ins, coming out ahead in that 2v2 when it was RA diving up in the top side. So being able to bring some light back when, there was some problems going on the opposite side, but it didn't really matter that you were diving 369, right? He's on the Sion. He never fell behind in CS, was able to easily get to his Bramble Vest and start making his way to his Mythic. So for JDG, they came with a very simple game plan.
Yeah.
They kept it consistent, and then we saw it was the 5v5s was specifically around, I believe it was the 3rd dragon, where they were able to ace everyone and just bring the game home.
I mean, from there, you know, JDG, like, again, never lost control, so it was smooth sailing. And while the early game was back and forth, like invade to Leyan's response, to Kanavi again, to Leyan's response there, it never got to the point where you were talking about how RA take firm control of that game, where they have leads through this lane, where they snowball out of control, where for RA, like, they know that no one can deal with Cube or Strive or even iBoy, his safety in these fights.
No, they really didn't have a great way of dealing with anything. We even saw when Accelerate Shock Blasts were hitting or Strive was able to get off a Q, just no damage really able to go through. Yeah. They tried to be cheeky with that one fight where we said they were the ones dropping waves on sides. They were trying to get on objective first and dish out that poke. But, I mean, when you have a Sion ultimate, there's just really no way from stopping the enemy from finding the engage and missing with the hero flank of that fight as well, finding his way behind Cube to bring him into the enemy side and shutting down Cube in these fights when Cube was a member we've hit on has really been popping off for the side of RA lately.
Yeah, Cube versus 369, a highlight matchup for many different reasons. But in this game number 1, it was definitely all about 369. That's Sion again, a beautiful masterclass put on by the top laner of JDG. JDG who are now 1-0 in the series against RA. When we have our break, when we return, I should say, we'll see